Revealed, little girl's incredible act of kindness with her teddy changed a CEO's life forever. In a small Midwestern town, where winter wrapped everything in a chilling embrace, an 8-year-old girl named Lily sat by her frosty window, her heart heavy yet hopeful. The world outside was a swirling flurry of snowflakes, each one falling silently, much like the weight of her family's struggles. Her father had been laid off from the factory, and her mother scrambled between 2 jobs, exhausted but resilient. But even in these hard times, Lily found solace in her worn teddy bear, Mr. Fuzzy. With his button eyes and a stitched smile, Mr. Fuzzy was a reminder of warmth, safety, and the love that always surrounded her no matter how cold the world felt. One frigid evening, as the wind howled, Lily's attention fell on a haunting sight. The empty mansion next door, once grand, now stood dark and desolate. Mr. Thompson, its former owner, had been a CEO, once brimming with ambition. But life had dealt him a harsh hand. He was alone, swallowed by loneliness after losing his job and dealing with grief. Just like her family, his spirit seemed frozen, trapped in the stillness of winter. With her heart racing, Lily remembered her mother's stories about kindness. Sometimes, all it takes to warm a heart is a little compassion, her mother would say. Inspired, Lily decided to bake cookies, the scent of chocolate chip and dough brightening her small kitchen with its rich aroma. I can share a piece of my warmth, she thought, when Lily knocked on Mr. Thompson's door. Her small silhouette contrasted against the towering entrance. The door creaked open, revealing a man who looked more like a shadow than a person. His eyes glistened with both surprise and sorrow as Lily shyly offered him the cookies. As he accepted them, tears brimmed in his eyes, revealing layers of pain and regret. With each bite he took, memories of laughter and community flooded back, warming his heart. Across the town, whispers of Lily's kindness soared. Neighbors began sharing meals, laughter bouncing in the now lively streets, reviving the spirit of support that had dimmed. Families gathered, stories exchanged, and, despite their hardships, a sense of connection blossomed again. Each act of kindness mirrored Lily's initial gesture, resonating through the community like ripples in a pond. But as the warm blankets of community wrapped around him, Mr. Thompson faced a dilemma. He had resources, a chance to breathe life back into the town. Yet he grappled with a question that echoed inside him: was it selfish to want to restore his former glory, or should he use his power for the collective good? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. In the glow of dawn, Mr. Thompson stood at the threshold of a past life. The stillness of his empty office loomed behind him, a testament to past pomp. The laughter of children, the sweet aroma of fresh cookies wafting from Lily's home reminded him of what mattered most. Could he redefine success? Heart racing, he pondered his next move, leaving readers at the edge of an answered question. Would he choose the path of redemption that the town and a little girl with her teddy bear so desperately needed? The morning light was a soft golden hue, spilling through Mr. Thompson's window and waking him from a restless sleep. As he rubbed the sleep from his eyes, memories of the previous day flooded back: Lily's innocent smile, the warmth of her cookies, and the way her kindness began to melt the ice around his heart. He felt a stirring deep within him, a desire not just to exist but to contribute to the world again. After breakfast, Mr. Thompson grabbed his coat and stepped outside. The crisp air hit his face, invigorating him. Today, he decided, he wouldn't just watch the world from behind his window. He would join it. And he knew exactly where to start. As he walked down the snow-covered path, he spotted Lily playing in the yard with a few neighborhood kids. Their laughter rang clear against the winter backdrop, a symphony of hope that filled him with warmth. Gathering his resolve, he approached them, hearing their giggles bubble over the sound of the crunching snow. "Hey there!" he called, letting his voice break through their fun. The kids turned, eyes wide with surprise as they recognized him. "Surely," wasn't just the shadowy figure from the mansion anymore. Hello, Mr. Thompson, Lily said, a hint of shyness in her voice. She seemed a little intimidated but hopeful nonetheless. Could I join you? He asked, smiling at the children. The energy shifted. Instead of retreating into their shell, they welcomed him with open arms and innocent curiosity. They taught him how to make snow angels and built a snowman that stood proud and tall by the yard. Each laugh reverberated through him, thawing the layers of sorrow that had coated his heart for so long. For Mr. Thompson, it felt like rediscovering a piece of himself, joy buried beneath years of despair. Encouraged by the day's events, a thought blossomed in his mind: if Lily's small act of kindness could create such a ripple, what could he do with his resources? That night, after the children returned home, he sat down at his kitchen table, pen in hand, and began to sketch a plan. He recalled various efforts from his past charity events, community initiatives, and realized he had the means to rejuvenate the town. The idea of building a community center began to unfold in his mind. A place where families could gather, kids could play, and neighbors could reconnect. It would be a place filled with laughter and warmth, a sanctuary of support, much like what Lily had offered him with those cookies. But doubts snuck in. Would the town welcome him back? Was he deserving of such a redemption? As the moonlight hit the paper, Mr. Thompson ruminated on his fears, a mix of excitement and anxiety coursing through him. A knock on the door startled him from his thoughts. It was Lily, clutching Mr. Fuzzy tightly as she stood wrapped in her bright red coat. "Mr. Thompson," she said softly, "I brought you something." Inside her hand was a note, simply written but powerfully heartfelt: "Thank you for playing with us today. You're not alone anymore." Her words struck deep. In that moment it was clear, he wasn't just looking to rebuild a community center, he was learning that rebuilding connection started with reaching for others. But as he gazed at the note, scribbled in Lily's untidy handwriting, a new question loomed: could he truly face the past and lead this transformation? Determined, he closed his eyes for a brief second and inhaled deeply. What would be his first step toward this brand new journey? As he opened the door wider to invite Lily in, two hearts exchanging warmth against the wintry landscape, Mr. Thompson knew the answer was on the cusp of a whole new chapter. When dawn broke again, could it light the path of renewal? The sun rose quietly the next morning, casting a soft light over the town. Mr. Thompson woke feeling different. Gone was the heaviness of regret that usually clouded his mind. Today, he felt a fire within him, an urgency to make a difference inspired by Lily's simple note. After a quick breakfast, he dressed in a sweater that felt far too big for him but comfortable nonetheless. As he stood by the window looking out at the frosty world, he felt an electric thrill run through him. What if he visited the town hall? He could propose his idea for the community center there. His heart raced at the thought. With determination, he headed out the door, the chill in the air invigorating him. The snowy path to town felt different this time, not an arduous trek but a step toward hope. He spotted familiar faces, neighbors bundled in scarves, the postman waving, and Mrs. Edwards from across the street walking her dog. They smiled back, a warm acknowledgement he hadn't particularly noticed before. His mind raced with possibilities. Would they support his idea? Could he sway them to believe that a community center could change everything? A place where laughter could fill the air instead of the distance he had felt for so long. The town hall loomed ahead, and as Mr. Thompson entered, he was met with an assortment of bustling clerks and committee members. Taking a deep breath, he walked up to the receptionist. "I'd like to speak with the mayor," he managed to say, his voice steadier than he felt. The woman eyed him with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Do you have an appointment?" she asked, arching an eyebrow. "No, but I have an idea." He struggled to convey the enormity of what he envisioned. "Please have a seat." "I'll see if she has time," the receptionist replied with an air of skepticism. Mr. Thompson sat in the waiting area, glancing around at the town's old photographs lining the walls, memories of unity, growth, and community. Minutes passed like an eternity until a friendly voice broke the reverie. "Mr. Thompson, the mayor will see you now." She gestured him forward, and he stood, heart pounding like a drum. In the mayor's office, a cozy space filled with vibrant artwork created by local children, she greeted him with a warm smile. "What brings you here today?" she asked, her eyes inviting. He hesitated for a moment, feeling exposed but determined. "I'd like to propose building a community center," he started. As he laid out his ideas, his voice caught in the pit of his stomach. He spoke of a place to gather, to connect a lifeline for families just like Lily S. He shared how the town could benefit from such a space, and he could see the spark flicker in her eyes. "I believe this could truly make a difference," he concluded, swallowing hard, suddenly feeling vulnerable. The mayor leaned back in her chair, processing his words. "I've seen so many children and families struggle without a central place to go. But, Mr. Thompson, it's a big endeavor. Do you really think you can lead this?" Her question hit him like ice water, not because of doubt, but because of the unexpected weight of responsibility. Could he really? He looked out the window at the children playing in the snow. Lily, her laugh ringing clear through the crisp air. "Yes, I think I can," he responded, not just to her, but to himself. As they spoke about next steps, hope surged within him. Just then, a commotion outside the window drew their attention. A small group of children had gathered, silhouetted against the bright white snow, and there among them was Lily, waving her arms excitedly. Mr. Thompson's heart lifted. She had sparked something in him, a flicker of joy that had burned so dimly for too long, now ablaze with possibility. "Mr. Thompson." The mayor's voice brought him back to reality. "I think we could work on this project together. But we'll need support from the community to make it happen." A wave of warmth coursed through him. "Then let us gather them," he said, a smile breaking across his face. "Let us show them what this can be." As they solidified plans for a town hall meeting to discuss his idea, Mr. Thompson felt transformed. The world felt full of colors instead of the grays that had defined his life for so long. But as they ended their meeting, a sudden doubt crept in. What if the community turned against him? What if he wasn't enough? With the idea of connection brighter in his heart than ever, Mr. Thompson left the town hall, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Would he find the courage to push through when faced with pushback? Would the community rally behind him? The questions lingered as he stepped into the cold, determined to gather support and ignite the spark that would change everything. The meeting was set for Thursday evening, just 3 days away. Mr. Thompson walked home, a flurry of ideas swirling in his mind. He could picture the room packed with friends, families, and even those who usually avoided social gatherings. He imagined the enthusiasm bubbling in the air as he shared his vision for the community center. This was his chance to bring everyone together and create something meaningful, but as he stepped inside his house, reality settled in like a thick fog. It wasn't just about excitement, he was inviting scrutiny. What if they laughed at him? What if they told him to give up? Mr. Thompson sank into the old, worn-out couch, physically exhausted from the excitement of the day, but mentally wrestling with his fears. He glanced at the small piece of lined paper on the coffee table, the note from Lily. "You can do it," it said, scrawled in her bubbly handwriting. For a moment, he considered tearing it up. A wave of self-doubt washed over him. But then he picked it up and held it tightly. This note represented more than just encouragement, it was a beacon of hope, the very thing he had been missing in his life. "I'll prove them wrong," he murmured to himself, shaking off the nerves, his decision firming. "I have to try." In the following days, he took steps to prepare. Mr. Thompson visited the local grocery store, where he would often buy his food but never really spoke to anyone beyond polite exchanges with the cashier. But now he engaged them, sharing his vision little by little. Some shoppers glanced at him with surprise, others smiled warmly. It was contagious. As he explained the need for a community center, he noticed heads nodding and a spark of interest igniting. "Count me in," shouted Mr. Jenkins, the retired schoolteacher, as he turned from the produce aisle. "We could use a place for art classes. Word got around faster than he expected. By the time he reached the bakery where the aroma of fresh bread wafted through the air, he could sense a shift had begun. Mrs. Ramirez, known for her cinnamon rolls, was behind the counter. "I think we could do a little fundraiser," she said, her face lighting up. "How about a bake sale?" The more they talked, the more ideas poured in. Mr. Thompson felt lighter with each suggestion, like a balloon slowly filling with air. Soon, they had the beginnings of a plan forming, and he could almost see the community center in his mind: bright colors, laughter, friendship. "Have you talked to Lily's parents?" Mrs. Ramirez suddenly asked. "I bet they'd be interested. Lily seems really enthusiastic." "What a great idea," he responded eagerly. "I'll stop by their house tomorrow." That night as he lay in bed, restless with excitement, doubt still crept in. Was he ready to embrace this leadership role? Could he truly follow through? But with Lily's smiling face and the support of newfound friends dancing in his mind, sleep eventually came, bringing an unexpected sense of peace. The following day, he gathered his courage and approached Lily's home, feeling nervous. He knocked, and the door swung open almost instantly. Her parents welcomed him with warm smiles, and he found himself smiling too. "Lily's been raving about you," her mom said, inviting him in. She's excited for the community center. But as they discussed the plans, he felt apprehension growing once more. Could this little girl really inspire more adults to join the cause? When they finally told Lily about the project, she clapped her hands and danced, her face glowing with pride. "We'll all work together, right?" she beamed, eyes sparkling. "Yes," he replied, feeling the warmth spread in his chest. "Together." But what Mr. Thompson didn't anticipate was the reaction of everyone else, and the surprising challenges they would face as he presented the idea to the town. With preparation underway and excitement building, he couldn't help but wonder how far would Lily's simple act of kindness reach. The real test was just beginning. Would the community embrace his vision? And what would happen if things didn't go as planned? As uncertainty loomed, he braced for whatever lay ahead. The day of the meeting arrived, and Mr. Thompson felt the weight of anticipation pressing down on him. A subtle tick-tock echoed in his mind, with each second escalating the tension in his chest. As he stood outside the community hall, he fought back the impulse to turn away. What if no one showed up? What if the room was empty but for him and his fading dreams? He took a deep breath and opened the door. The room was buzzing with energy, filled with familiar faces. There were families he recognized from the grocery store, friends from the bakery, and even a few strangers who seemed drawn by curiosity. It was more than he had hoped for. "Mr. Thompson," called out Mrs. Ramirez, waving him over with a beaming smile. She had baked a dozen of her famous cinnamon rolls, beautifully arranged on a table by the entrance. "You've got to try these. They're for our fundraiser." He chuckled, a genuine smile breaking through his anxious facade. "You always know how to make a man feel welcome." As he navigated through the crowd, people greeted him with encouragement, patting him on the back and expressing their eagerness to support his vision. Lily was there too, her joy infectious as she waved excitedly. She ran up to him, dragging her dad along. "Are you ready, Mr. Thompson?" she asked, eyes sparkling like little stars. "I think so, Lily. I just hope everyone believes in this as much as you do," he replied, feeling a tingle of hope. Once the clock struck 6, he stood up in front of the gathering. His heart raced. He glanced around, locking eyes with some of the friendly faces from the neighborhood. Taking a deep breath, he began. "Thank you all for coming. It means the world to me to see so many of you here." His voice wavered but held a certain resolve. "Today, I want to share a vision, not just my own but one that belongs to all of us. A community center where everyone can come together, create, learn, celebrate, and simply be. We all have something unique to contribute, and together, we can make this happen." As he spoke, He wove in stories of how the community could thrive together: art classes for kids, workshops for families, a space for local artists, and a library bustling with stories. He spoke of unity, friendships, and laughter that could fill those walls. Mr. Thompson felt the energy in the room shift, a ripple of ideas sparking in the shared space like fireworks on the 4th of July. When he paused, anticipation hung thick in the air. Hands shot up, questions and suggestions erupting like wildfire. "What about movie nights?" called out Mr. Jenkins. "Or a garden club?" someone else chimed in. Lily's excitement bubbled over. "And we can have a puppet show." "Absolutely," Mr. Thompson said, a huge grin spreading across his face. The warmth of the community's enthusiasm spread through him, flooding his heart with hope, but just as the momentum built, a shadow passed over the gathering. Mr. Davidson, one of the town's more influential figures, stood up and cleared his throat. His stern expression sent a chill through Mr. Thompson. "While I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm," he began, "we must consider the reality. How will we fund something like this? Where will it be located? What if it fails?" Mr. Thompson's heart sank as he absorbed the challenge. Fear and doubt began to creep back in. He had envisioned this gathering as a moment of unity, but here was potential opposition. As he looked around, he saw the spark in the faces of his neighbors begin to flicker, yet Lily, sensing the change, stood up on her chair, her small frame radiating confidence. "But we can do it. We have each other," she exclaimed, her voice ringing clear. "Mr. Thompson believes in us. And I believe too." Every eye shifted back to her, the silence of uncertainty filling the room. Mr. Thompson's heart swelled with pride and a rush of determination. If she could convince them with that simple truth, perhaps they could work through any challenge together, as a community. "Let us take this on step by step," Mr. Thompson finally said, finding his voice amid the rippling doubts. "Lily's right. We'll tackle the questions together. We can brainstorm solutions and create a plan." The meeting continued, a whirlwind of ideas and discussions that transformed doubt into a shared mission. But as conversations filled the hall, a part of him couldn't shake off the discord sown by Mr. Davidson's words. Would challenges like this threaten to overshadow their hopes? The thought hung heavy in his mind as he glanced at Lily's hopeful face, determined to navigate whatever lay ahead. Could they truly make this dream happen? Uncertainty loomed large as the evening progressed, leaving him wondering how would they face the inevitable obstacles, and what sacrifices would the community have to make to protect their vision. The discussions in the community hall swirled around Mr. Thompson like a vibrant tapestry. Ideas bounced between neighbors, each suggestion more colorful and hopeful than the last. Someone proposed a mural on one wall, another suggested a Saturday farmers market. He could feel excitement building, and for a moment, the weight of doubt that had settled in his chest began to lift. However, the shadow of Mr. Davidson's skepticism lingered like a storm cloud, growing heavier in the back of Mr. Thompson's mind. As the meeting progressed, faces lit up, animated voices rose, but every time he glanced at the older man, the sense of impending concern gripped him tighter. Lily's small hand found his as she wedged her way closer to him, her fingers squeezing lightly, extending a silent reassurance. "Don't worry, Mr. Thompson. We have a million ideas already." He smiled down at her, but worry still bubbled beneath his surface. "You really believe we can do this?" "Yes. If we all work together, nothing can stop us." Mr. Thompson nodded, wanting to believe her unshakable faith, but the realities of limited funds and logistics loomed large. Each new idea seemed to blossom like a shiny flower, but he couldn't shake the very real weeds of doubt threatening to choke them out. As the meeting marched on, he tried to focus on the unity formed within those walls. He felt uplifted by laughter and fervor, people were clapping, sharing stories, and the energy surged around him. Yet Mr. Davidson's doubts gnawed at him. How would they gather the money? Would he be able to bring together such a diverse community? The clock crept toward 8, and just when it felt like the momentum would wax and wane forever, Mrs. Ramirez raised her hand again, her cinnamon roll plate still in tow. What if we plan a fundraising festival? We can combine all our talents. Music, art, food. We can ask the local businesses to chip in. Cheers erupted. Mr. Thompson could hardly believe his ears. Common challenges seemed to transform into a fresh wave of solutions. That's a wonderful idea. He responded, encouraged. If everyone pitches in, we could make it a real celebration. The energy in the room was electric. People raised their hands, eager to join in various committees, from organizing food to entertainment. Each contribution added a bead to the necklace of hope being woven. They even started sketching a rough blueprint on a poster board for the festival's various sections. But just then, Mr. Davidson's voice cut through the exuberance again. Even if you manage to throw a festival, it won't cover the costs of maintaining a center. We need to face facts here. What happens when this excitement dies down? A hush fell over the hall, as if the air itself turned dense with apprehension. For a moment, it felt like a heavy curtain dropping over the light and laughter they had built. Mr. Thompson felt his heart sinking, the weight of reality collapsing his vision, but Lily stood up again, her small voice piercing through the silence. But, Mr. Davidson, Mr. Thompson won't let the excitement die. We can keep it going. We have ideas. If we all work hard, it's our dream, not just his. Mr. Thompson's heart swelled once more in unwavering admiration. This little girl was their spark. She was lighting a fire within him, igniting a belief he thought had dimmed. Lily's right, he addressed the group, feeling the flood of resolve surge back in. This is our vision together, and we can make it successful. One after another, faces lit up with determination. Discussions reignited, each idea melding with another in a beautiful mosaic of creativity, but just as energy surged back, a flash of worry crossed his mind. Could they actually navigate all those logistical hurdles? The doubt vied with his hope, creating a storm of emotions inside him. But then something incredible happened. Lily's dad, Mr. Pritchard, spoke up. We could organize a mini carnival and charge a small fee. We can create opportunities for local musicians to perform and showcase their talents. That could attract a crowd. A ripple of agreement flowed through the room, and one voice after another began layering the concept further until it morphed into an even bigger plan, a community affair that would engage everyone, young and old. As they debated their newfound ideas, an unexpected thought crept in: the outcome of their efforts might lay bare a deeper lesson. Were they only building a center, or could this act as a bridge for their community to confront and overcome fears, together? As the last of the evening faded into night, Mr. Thompson couldn't shake the feeling that they had crossed a threshold. With newfound camaraderie under their wings, the community felt more like family. But just as hopeful dreams began to take root, a knock on the door startled him. He turned, uncertainty prickling at him again. Who could that be at this hour? Would the arrival bear yet another challenge to their blossoming ideas, or a crucial ally who could help set their feet firmly on the path toward their dream? A shiver of anticipation coursed through him. Mr. Thompson hesitated, his heart racing as he glanced at the door. A million thoughts rushed through his mind. He was tempted to ignore it, wanting to savor the moments of hope birthed during the meeting. But curiosity got the better of him. With a deep breath that smelled of lingering cinnamon rolls, he crossed the room, each step feeling heavier than the last. The community hall had turned into a sanctuary of promises and ambitions, and suddenly, the air hummed with new possibilities. As he gripped the doorknob, a part of him yearned for a simple end to the night, just laughter and joy among friends. That he opened the door, his breath catching when he laid eyes on the figure on the porch. There stood a young woman, her hair tousled by the night breeze, holding a large red binder close to her chest. She wore a nervous smile, a stark contrast to the decisiveness radiating from the committee just moments ago. "Hello. I'm sorry to intrude," she began, her voice soft yet determined. "I'm Jenna. I heard about your plans for a community center. Is there still time to share some ideas?" Mr. Thompson blinked, staring at her for a split second. Could this be just the ally he was hoping for? Yes. Please, come in. He stepped aside, a surge of hope pushing away his earlier worries. As Jenna stepped into the hall, Mr. Pritchard and Lily turned their attention away from the mapping of the festival. The excitement from the earlier discussions faded slightly, replaced now by intrigue. Mr. Pritchard raised an eyebrow, but the delighted twinkle in Lily's eyes stayed encouraging. I know this is unorthodox, Jenna continued, her nerves giving way to newfound confidence. But I've been curating ideas on community engagement for a while now. I run a small non-profit organization focused on connecting local resources with community needs. Your dream aligns perfectly with our mission. The room fell silent. Mr. Thompson felt a flicker of excitement replace the weariness that had threatened to engulf him since Mr. Davidson's remarks. Tell us more, he urged, blinking away the disbelief that his own dreams might be gaining traction. Well, Jenna said, flipping open her binder, we can help with fundraising strategies, connect with businesses for sponsorships, even assist with planning events that can sustain the center year-round. Her eyes sparkled, a mix of passion and determination. This isn't just about one festival, it's about creating a sustainable community hub. A murmur ran through the room, lively chatter ignited by her hopeful words. Jenna exuded a contagious energy that filled the space with more possibilities than Mr. Thompson thought could exist. For the first time in recent memory, the weight on his heart lifted. He could see a way forward, a path carved out of the fears that once loomed large, yet, just as he was about to speak, a resounding knock echoed from the door again, breaking their moment of enthusiasm. Everyone turned, surprise sketching their faces anew. Mr. Davidson, with his furrowed brow and fisted hands, stood there. I don't think this is wise. We need to face reality. What's this about? The joyful air in the hall grew tense with questions. The contrast between Jenna's enthusiasm and Mr. Davidson's skepticism felt like an imminent storm, neither fully ready to back down. Mr. Davidson, Mr. Thompson began, heart beating fast. Maybe we should hear her out. Maybe there is a way we can build this together. But as he spoke, he sensed the threads of doubt weaving their way back into the fabric of hope. With Jenna's fresh perspective on the table, would Mr. Davidson's opposition gain strength where their unity began to form? What would it take to turn the tide? Would they find a way to create something bigger than themselves, despite the hurdles? And would Lily, with her spark of encouragement, still believe in them when the whispers of uncertainty crept close again? The reality of their dreams hung in the balance, swirling between the voices that surrounded them. The tension in the room coiled tighter with each passing second. Mr. Thompson took a tentative step towards Mr. Davidson, hoping to ease the edges of confrontation. We've come this far. Let us at least hear what Jenna has to say, he urged, his voice steady but edged with an underlying urgency. Mr. Davidson scoffed, crossing his arms defensively. Hearing her out won't change the fact that this is a whimsical dream, Mr. Thompson. You know as well as I do that we need cold facts and numbers, not just enthusiasm. Jenna looked at Mr. Davidson, her resolve faltering for just a breath. But she quickly recovered, sensing the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Mr. Davidson, she said, her voice firm, those facts can come from a connection between us. A community is made stronger by collaboration, not just statistics. If we work together, we can build a center that's vital to everyone. Lily nodded, her bright eyes locking onto Jenna's, eager for hope. She's right. We need to connect. You can't build a community center on numbers alone. It has to be rooted in the people it serves, she chimed in, her voice buoyant against the rising waves of skepticism. Dunmar. Davidson rolled his eyes, but the tension in his shoulders lessened ever so slightly. The energy in the room shifted, a gentle tug towards possibility rather than defeat. Mr. Pritchard cleared his throat, sensing a moment of potential harmony. Why don't we entertain a compromise? He glanced at Jenna, then Mr. Davidson. Let us set up a meeting to explore these ideas. If Jenna's organization can deliver even a fraction of what she claims, wouldn't it be worth our time? Mr. Davidson hesitated, his brow furrowed. He was a man of brick walls and hardened opinions, but even he could feel the atmosphere turning in favor of Jenna's hopeful spirit. "Fine," he grunted after a pause. "I still don't believe in fairy tale endings, but I'll listen." Jenna's face lit up, relief flooding through her. "Thank you. I promise I won't waste your time. We can create events to gather community input, fundraisers to gather support, even workshops to engage our youth. This could be the start of something incredible." As the buzz of excitement reclaimed the room, Mr. Thompson couldn't shake the feeling that this was a moment he'd remember forever, the first time hope dared to bloom amidst the shadows of doubt, but their momentum didn't last long. Just as laughter began to fill their space, the power suddenly flickered, and the room plunged into near darkness, illuminated only by the low glow of the exit signs. Gasps echoed, muffled by surprise. "What happened?" Lily asked, searching for answers, though a shadow of concern danced on her features. "We're going to need to check the circuit." "Stay here," Mr. Thompson said, instinctively moving towards the exit, fear clamping around his heart. As he reached for the door, a low hum escalated into a rumble. The collective breath of the group caught, and as the storm's embrace settled outside, Mr. Thompson felt something shatter, anticipation mixed with dread. They could lose this chance too. Outside, the storm raged with intensity, thunder cracked in the distance, and rain fell like sheets. "Hold tight. We'll get through this," he shouted back at the others, but uncertainty gnawed at him. Would they be able to weather this storm both outside and within their very dreams? And could Jenna's vision withstand the gale of skepticism? The door swung shut behind him as he stepped into the tempest. As he ventured into the uncertainty, a chilling realization hit him: sometimes the real test comes not from the thunderous storms, but from the calm that follows, begging the question, could they rebuild their dreams before it washed away? Rain lashed against Mr. Thompson's face as he stepped into the chaos of the storm. The world around him felt surreal, a rapid succession of wind and water. He had left the warmth of hope behind, but that warmth flickered within him, urging him to press forward. Each step was a battle against the gusts that seemed to yell, telling him to turn back. That he pulled his collar against the wind, squinting through the sheets of rain. The community center stood stubbornly amidst the fury, its facade dark and silhouetted against the flashes of lightning. Thoughts of Jenna and the potential they had just uncovered buzzed in his mind. He pushed up the desire to turn back. How could he leave them in there? He couldn't abandon that chance for them. As the wind howled louder, he made his way to the circuit box at the back of the building. It was dim and slick, illuminated intermittently by lightning that flickered across the sky. He felt for the box, every second stretching perilously as he imagined the discussions happening without him. What if the spark of hope was snuffed out? He would never forgive himself. With trembling hands, he opened the cover, revealing a jumbled mass of wires and gadgets. The chaos felt familiar. Sometimes, feelings of uncertainty and fear twisted like those wires in his heart. He focused, taking a deep breath against the sound of nature's drumroll, and began checking. As he twisted the knobs, a flash lit up the sky again, revealing him soaked and determined. The connection was there, he just needed to find it. He thought of Jenna's eyes, bright with hope, and how they had flickered back into life just a moment ago. There was strength in that, a kind of strength that could be built among them all. His hands moved quickly, guided by instinct. And then, through the turbulence of wind and rain, he heard it. The unmistakable sound of laughter from inside, voices harmonizing in spirited protection against uncertainty. It pulled at his heart, grounding him, reminding him there was a reason he had fought for this moment. With final adjustments, he flipped a switch. The box coughed and sputtered. Then with a last gasp, the lights inside flickered back to life in a warm glow. A cheer rose up, and relief washed over him like sunshine breaking through the clouds. He dashed back inside, shaking off the rain as he entered the room, stepping into the bustle that felt electric. They were gathered around a small table, laughter spilling from their lips, one filled with the promise of turning this dream into reality. "What did I miss?" he called, grinning. Jenna's face lit up, and her light chased away any echoes of doubt. "Everything. You need to see this." Jenna motioned him closer, her eyes sparkling. She held up a makeshift poster covered in colorful ideas, drawn by Lily and others. They had begun brainstorming and building their vision without him. "Look at all of this!" Mr. Thompson exclaimed, his excitement bursting. "You created this while I was out?" Lily nodded vigorously. "We know we can do this. We won't let anything stop us." The atmosphere was contagious. A wave of strength filled the air, grounding their dreams as voices rose with enthusiasm, but just as hope began to settle in, another rumble echoed outside, shaking the room. A new unease gripped him. It was a reminder that storms could return, uninvited and relentless. What if this storm doesn't pass? What if Mr. Thompson hesitated, vulnerability creeping in? But what if it inspires us? Jenna interjected, her gaze steady and fierce. What if we make this center a beacon, a safe place to come together through the storms? Her words sent a ripple of courage through the group. They were no longer just individuals facing fear, they were a community ready to turn that fear into strength. Mr. Thompson looked around the room, their faces shining with determination. Somewhere inside him, that flickering warmth ignited again, a strong flame of hope pulling them together. He knew they were no longer just fighting against skepticism or storms. They were fighting for something bigger. Every beat of thunder outside felt like a promise, cracking their barriers and forcing them to confront the fiercest opposition, their own doubts. Feeling a swell of urgency, he declared, "Let us take this energy to the next step. If we're going to face whatever comes our way, we need to be united from here on out." With rising tension outside, could they form a bond that could withstand anything life threw at them, or would the looming storm test their resolve too harshly? In the days that followed the meeting, the little community buzzed with newfound energy. Mr. Thompson felt an unexpected sense of belonging that filled each moment with joy. He thrived on the warmth of vibrant discussions, laughter, and the undeniable spirit of camaraderie ignited by Lily's sweet act of kindness. Plans for the community center blossomed further, ideas spiraling with enthusiasm. Jenna, a fierce ally, dove headfirst into the mission, managing to bring in local businesses to sponsor their upcoming carnival. Each conversation brought smiles, each handshake felt like a thread weaving their fragile community tighter together. The scent of baking cinnamon rolls wafted through the town as Mrs. Ramirez rallied others to prepare for a bake sale. Her kitchen became a hub of creativity, gathering love and labor that would feed their fundraising efforts. Every time he crossed paths with Lily, her joyous smile lit up his heart. "Will we really do it, Mr. Thompson?" she asked, her eyes wide with anticipation. "Yes, we will," he assured her, beaming with pride. For the first time in a long while, he walked with purpose, buoyed by the pools of trust and hope that surrounded him. Still, deep in the quiet recesses of his mind, Mr. Davidson's skeptics shadowed his thoughts. What if they couldn't pull together the resources necessary? What if something, or someone, tore them apart? At times, he found himself staring into the frost-bitten horizon, feeling a perceptible weight of uncertainty shadow him like a winter's chill. But each time hesitation crept in, he recalled the laughter and unity of the community gathered in that cozy hall. Then came the day of the carnival. The first true test of their resolve was upon them, and the clouds hung low, threatening rain as families filtered into the park. Mr. Thompson's heart raced with anticipation as they erected banners, stringing bright lights across the entrance. The pulse of music thrummed through the air as smiles from kids balanced on the edges of excitement painted the day with hope. "Look at everyone!" Lily squealed, bounding up to him in her red coat, each step radiating pure joy. Mr. Thompson knelt down, taking her hand. "This is all thanks to you, Lily." Her eyes sparkled like twinkling lights, a reflection of dreams realized through her original act of kindness. The crowd grew, a beautiful sea of colors and laughter, slowly dissolving the bitter cold the winter had held onto for so long. From puppet shows to face painting, there was life bursting from every corner. Thrilled laughter rang loud, and Mr. Thompson felt the warmth suffusing his heart, washing away any remnants of doubt. This was at the essence of what they had poured their hopes into. He watched as people filled the donation boxes generously and signed up for committees, eager to roll up their sleeves for the community center. Each occurrence was a reminder, they were more than individuals, they were interconnected, their lives entangled, crafting something profound. Amidst the buzzing excitement, however, discontent brewed. Mr. Davidson's hesitant figure loomed at the edge of the festivities, arms crossed tight against his chest. Mr. Thompson swallowed hard, debating whether to approach him, but what did he have to lose? This was a moment of unity, and everyone deserved to be a part of this light. Gathering his courage, he strode over. "Mr. Davidson, it's great to see you here," he said, forcing a smile. "Not quite what I expected," Mr. Davidson replied, his tone clipped but revealing the hint of intrigue. "Still think it's sustainable?" Mr. Thompson straightened, a steady resolve filling him. "It can be if we make it so. This goes beyond any one person or project. It's about community." And as he spoke with passion, the spark ignited in Mr. Davidson's eyes. "Perhaps there is something to be said for pulling together, then," he finally responded, uncrossing his arms, ever so slightly. "More than just something. Come join us," Mr. Thompson offered. The change in camaraderie was palpable, the steady river of discourse flowing in new directions. As the sun dipped low, casting a golden hue across the smiling faces, Mr. Thompson realized this day was not just a celebration of the carnival, but a pivotal moment in their journey. He glanced at the horizon, full of doubts, fears, and what-ifs. Yet, opposite those shadows now loomed a brighter reality, a brighter community lasting well beyond the carnival. That evening, as they gathered around to share in the triumph of their unity, even the storm clouds threatened to recede. Laughter rang through the park, washing away the chill, and for the first time in ages, Mr. Thompson felt truly alive. They had started something beautiful together, a community bound not just by dreams, but heart and resilience, and as Mr. Thompson gazed at his neighbors with warmth flooding his soul, he knew that this was just the beginning. Could they remain steadfast in the face of future storms? Yes. Because they had something that couldn't be ripped away, a belief that kindness could pave the way for change and that together, they would weather anything. This was at the transformative moment they'd all been waiting for. Now, it's your turn. If you found this story of courage and community inspiring, you need to subscribe now. Hit that bell and mark all notifications to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and comment below your feelings about this ending. Lastly, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. Your support means the world.